The One Paseo site is an empty 23-acre field that sits less than a mile east of Interstate 5 in affluent Carmel Valley, a developer's dream location. Here's an artist's rendering of what the proposed project would look like. It has 600 housing units, a small park, shops, and, perhaps most controversial, a 150-foot-high office building. Developer John Kilroy says it's mixed use because that's what the community requested.
After 6 years now and tens of millions of dollars going through the process, we think we've arrived at a terrific plan that's going to be terrific for everybody.
A lot of these center trees are going to be going away for turn pockets, right?
Ken Ferinsky was one of the first community members Kilroy approached with the idea of a mixed-use project.
And we were, yes, the community would love a mixed-use project on the site. I was one of the original proponents for One Paseo.
But when Ferinsky began to realize the scale of the project and the traffic it would generate, he became a vocal spokesman for the opposition group, What Price Main Street.
The main objection to this site is traffic. You know, they're generating 23,000 trips a day, which requires them to widen streets, to divert traffic through neighborhoods by schools, elementary schools. Kids will have to get to the elementary school, they'll have to walk across 9 lanes of traffic.
One Paseo is car-centric. Kilroy acknowledges that, but he says he's spending more than $6 million on signals and improvements to intersections.
40 intersections in the greater Carmel Valley area. And then we're doing about $3.8 million beyond that at our own election. And what this will have is the most modern traffic signal system in the country.
The conundrum for Carmel Valley is that developing this site means more traffic, and that's because public transit doesn't serve this area. But without more dense development, public transit isn't feasible.
Going through here.
Former San Diego City Planning Chief Mike Stepner says public transit like buses and trains are not financially sustainable except in more densely populated cities.
It's always a chicken and egg thing. In the olden days, 100 years ago, you built the transit first and then the development came.
Now, Stepner says it's the other way around. Stepner started off skeptical of the project, but he's worked as a consultant for Kilroy to make the development more community-friendly, with bike lanes, pedestrian-friendly boulevards and public spaces. He says the region needs developments like these to meet its housing needs.
We are short in this region 333,000 housing units we're going to need over the next 25, 30 years. They're proposing about 600. I mean, that's a drop in the bucket, but it really creates housing. It creates a critical mass to support all these things. And then if you have enough of that, it will bring transit.
Kilroy would provide a shuttle bus to the nearest coaster station in Sorrento Valley. But Don Mosier, a Del Mar city councilman who sits on San Diego's regional planning board, says he's seen no plans to bring more public transit to serve the area.
You know, I see the 2050 Regional Transportation Plan, and I don't see any proposed solution for this area that will improve transit access.
The city of Del Mar has voted to oppose One Paseo.
Frankly, when I hear the developers talk about smart growth, this is the opposite of smart growth. This is really the opposite. It doesn't conform to the transit plan, doesn't conform to the community plan, and it has major negative impacts on the surrounding communities.
Developer Kilroy says he's modified the plan as much as he can.
We have addressed density. The project that we propose today is 1/3 less than what we proposed originally. The building's height on the office buildings, which are the tallest, are roughly 25% reduced from what we originally proposed and 20 feet lower than what we just proposed in October.
They have to go all the way back.
Ferinsky says the project is still triple the density and generates 4 times the traffic that the 1975 community plan allows.
You know, this project is so over the top that they can reduce it by 1/3 and it's still too big. We're not NIMBYs. People are for a mixed-use project on this site. We are pro-development. We're just against this massive overdevelopment.
But we can't make it smaller than it is right now. It just won't work.
Mike Stepner says One Paseo is trying to build more density while creating a sense of community, the town center that Carmel Valley needs.
If it doesn't work out financially that you can't afford to do the improvements to the streets in the same way, the public spaces in the same way, then you really have something that's just another shopping center. And I think that's the issue. And what the development team has been trying to do is balance all that.
The San Diego City Council will weigh its options next Monday. Alison St John, KPBS News.